Hey guys, I'm going to try and do this quickly and stay out of personal stuff on this one. I'm doing a series of videos. One of them is basically just showing all of our CDs from Sound Choice because they're the ones that are actually out pursuing audits and suing people right now. In order to understand that, you have to know me. I'm Eric with Starz Karaoke in Phoenix, Arizona. We've been in the karaoke business since 1996. We've been buying CDs since a little bit before that. I started probably 93 or 94. I started with issues with Sound Choice back around 2004 and 5 when they were sending out the letter that I'm showing on the screen now, which basically was sent to many of our clubs when we started using either computerized hard drives or CAV systems. We started with CAV systems, and then we found out there were problems legality-wise with those because we were buying them preloaded and we were told they were legal and they weren't. So then we started basically ripping our own music and doing it on computers after a while. But they were sending these letters and they cost us literally probably 8 shows a week and hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. And we have several shows we've had over 10 years. So, I mean, it's a lot of revenue we lost. All that said, I got involved. That created the AZ Karaoke Alliance and then the US Karaoke Alliance, where I found other people with similar problems, and we kind of used our resources to buy and talk to attorneys and get some advice on this. And we kind of took a positive, proactive approach to it and just tried to do the best business we could and do the best things we could with what the resources we had. So all that said, I got involved with Kia, was invited onto the board of Kia, spent 3 years as an advisory board member of Kia, which meant that basically they would get my advice, get my opinions, but they pretty much did whatever they thought was the right thing. A lot of times I disagreed with that. We had a lot of butting heads. You can see here's 2008 emails. This is my folder that I keep my Kia emails in, and just tons and tons of emails back and forth. And you can see the last 2 weeks I've been back and forth with Kurt, the CEO of Sound Choice, trying to come to terms on doing an audit. And I'm going to stay out of the personal stuff in this version of this and just show you what the problems I have with their audit process as of right now. And part of this is that over the last, starting with this letter, over the last, 8 years, I've had a lot of experience dealing with different people at Sound Choice, and it seems the people have always changed. The approach is always somewhat different with each one. But at this point, I honestly don't trust their intentions in dealing with something with legal stuff. I negotiated with then Bill Becker, who was the person who was presented to me at a national Kia conference as being the CEO. He signed this as a general manager, not as the CEO, but general manager, acting authority on that company. And I got him to basically put out a document that said that as long as we showed our discs, and we're willing to show our discs, that as long as we had one for one, we were allowed to have them on computers. So I went out, I saw it, and I got authorization for us to do that. Here is our name listed right in this document. So to say that we don't have authorization is not the truth. We already have authorization. We negotiated and went through a long process to get it, and we got it. So that said, you come in today and we're wanting to do this audit and show that we're actually legal. But when I get the audit, basically they're asking me to pay for the audit, which I've already paid for all the discs, and I don't mind paying part of it. But the reason that it takes so long is because they're doing all kinds of very invasive things with your history and your records, and they're asking to look at things that they don't have rights to, and then they want to mark every single CD, which I have some minor issues with, and we'll go into that. But the bottom line is that if they want to make those constraints and they want to make those requirements, that's their requirements, not mine. They can see my CDs without taking hours and hours to do it by marking every single CD. And we're going to show our CDs, and we're going to show that we're willing to have them come out and look at them, and they can look at them one by one or whatever. We don't care. But we want to show them, but we're not going to sign off, one, that with our system it would cost us over $1,000 to pay the expenses of this, and I'm going to post this stuff up so everybody can see it. Two, they're going to look into every single piece of everything we have. And honestly, in the digital age, if you look at my discs and I have my discs, that really should be enough. And you can see my shows online. It's not like I'm hiding them. As you come down here, marking of the discs, I don't mind them being marked, and I've given in on that. But I'm not going to open up discs that are still sealed and shrink wrapped so that they can actually mark on the disc, because that takes something I have that's in mint condition and takes it and degrades it so that I don't have any resale value to it. As I come down through here, here it says, I represent that I believe my karaoke systems are fully compliant with all applicable laws regarding trademarks and copyrights, and that I believe I'm in full compliance with Sound Choice policy regarding media shifting and compliant operation. This, I represent that I believe my karaoke systems are fully compliant with all applicable laws, and then I authorize Sound Choice to make reasonable steps to verify statements made above are true and to share this information with other karaoke manufacturers. They're basically putting these two statements in here and giving themselves rights to inspect every single disc you have, which they don't have the rights to. So you don't have to give up your right and give them the ability to come in and check all of that. They only have rights to the discs that they actually produced. So you don't have to give up that right. So there's that right tied in with the marking, which I'm actually I will give into that, but you can't open up my closed discs. Paying for the audit. I have issues with all of these, and there's several mentions in here of how it's a voluntary audit. I was kind of, in my opinion, I was under the breath threatened that if I don't do this, that they're going to come after me. So I would like to say that I'm voluntarily complying with their request for an audit, not that I came to them, because that's a different situation. Their covenant not to sue, if you go through this entire audit, you pass the audit, and you get your covenant not to sue, it basically says in here in Section 5 that you are waiving your right to have defense of your business to be litigated in Mecklenburg County, North Carolina, which means you as a defendant have the right to have that in your own court, but when you sign this document, you give that up. With my experience and with my history with Sound Choice, I am not willing to sign that. Now, I don't have to give up my rights, and I can show my discs without giving up my rights. That is why I'm not signing this document, and I'm, for the second time now, putting up all of my music online. You have your attorney look at this, you get your advice. If you feel comfortable signing this, and there's lots of companies that have, you go right ahead and do it. But my personal convictions and my personal history with Sound Choice do not allow me to feel comfortable signing this document. I am absolutely fine with them coming out and looking at my discs. I am not fine with this document. So that's kind of where I stand on that. You guys have to make your own judgments, but I wanted to make sure that you were aware of what's on this document. Thank you.